everyone, I'm Amanda from Mandy, Lynn Plans. Welcome back to another A5 Planner Showdown video. Today we're going to be comparing the Common Planner by Sterling Ink and Plans by Just Scribble. Both of these A5 planners have a vertical and a horizontal weekly option. Today we're going to be taking a look at the horizontal spreads. Next week we will be taking a look at the vertical spreads for these two companies. Here I have the mulberry cover for the Common Planner. This is the full year option. The colors vary on which options are available for the whole year versus the half year, and I wanted the mulberry color, so I got the full year for that specific reason. I've also added tabs. Those do not come with the planner. Those are the sunset colorway from our shop. And then I have the Plans by Just Scribble. It is one cover option and it is a 2-book system, so January to June and then July to December. They both have some foiling. This is rose gold on this tan cover. This is gold. Here you can see the size difference between the full year and then the 2-book system for the Plans. And then on the back, they both have designed by their companies. They're both quite flexible and feel really good in my hands. So starting off here, we have the year at a glance spreads, and I apologize, I have laid some stickers down here. I will pull one up so that you can see how it looks printed. Both of these planners feature the current year on one page so that you can see it nice and large. Here, the print is much more bold and dark on the Plans by Just Scribble. The calendars also have this grid that they fit into. They are both Monday start planners, so all the spreads that you see will be a Monday start. The Sterling Ink also includes these week numbers here in the year at a glance. The Plans by Just Scribble does, but not in this specific spread. And then the Plans by Just Scribble has this side of the page that gives you the next upcoming 4 months. Here I have the second book of the 2-book system, so it is the first 4 months of 2026. In the first book, the January to June book, you get July, August, September, and October, sort of as a little at a glance section of the upcoming months that are not included in this specific book. Then in the Plans by Just Scribble, we flip to the yearly index pages. And if we flip in the Common Planner, there is a 2-page kind of blank spread here that you can do maybe a vision board or something similar with. Then we flip and there are some goal pages that are not included in the Plans at this point of the book. Flip over one, you will see the goal pages for Plans by Just Scribble. There are these annual rectangles here where you can put some goals and things. So if you want to take a look at your goals for the entire beginning of the year, you can do that here. In the Common Planner, there are columns that say someday, 1 year, half year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. If you want to set specific goals for different portions of the year. Then in the Common Planner we flip and there's this yearly tracker with these really thin columns. This is one that she added for the 2025 year. And then we flip and we have the quarter tracker page. And this is coupled with her version of the yearly index. So let's take a look at this side of the page first. And again, I apologize, I have already laid some stickers, some holiday stickers, but the general gist of these specific pages are very, very similar. They are divided at the top with the 3 months for the quarter. They have the date. The Common Planner also includes the day of the week, so you can see that the first is a Wednesday. They both have shaded weekends. So on the Plans, you can figure out which day of the week it is if you know that the weekends are shaded. So the 13th would be a Monday because the 12th and 11th are shaded for the weekend, and you can kind of figure out the day of the week that way. They both have the blank part at the bottom where you can put extra notes or things that you need for referencing the month. So in Plans by Just Scribble, you have your 6 months laid out this way, and then you have your quarterly trackers in a different little spread. So here in the Plans by Just Scribble, you have something very similar to what we have in the Common Planner. Taking a look at the Plans by Just Scribble now, you have your 3 months divided here. For this specifically is quarter 3. There are one of these in the book for all 4 quarters. And then you have this blank spot that you can do whatever you would like with for your needs. And that is very similar to what we have here in the Common Planner that is opposite this yearly index page. We have priorities at the top, and then you have January, February, and March. So you can have your priorities for the whole quarter and then break it down into each month. So there are very similar ideas, just a little bit different ways of tracking each thing in the planners. So in the Common Planner, you have all 4 quarters at the beginning of the book, and then you flip and you go to the December of the previous year. So she gives you December, and then all of the months are at the beginning here. So you have January, February, etc. Again, I'm sorry if it's distracting to you that I already added stickers. These are not included. These are from our shop. And the Plans by Just Scribble, I'm going to flip back now and show you the monthly tracking pages. There are 3 here for quarter 3. You have July, August, and September. And these you have the date running across the edge so that you can track things if you want to make sure that you're keeping your habits up. You can do that here. The weekends are shaded again so you can figure out what day of the week it is. There's also a spot if you have things that you would like to track weekly instead of daily. You can do that with these first 5 boxes here before it starts with the 1st and then goes to the 30th since this is September. Then we flip and we get into a July overview page. You can use this however you like to track things for the month before flipping into the monthly spread. And again, the September would not be here normally. This is the month with the least amount of stickers on it. So I have not added any stickers to the plans. So this is written on. Here I have the Common Planner on the left and then the plans. They are very similarly laid out. There are no holidays or moon phases on either planner. Again, they are both Monday start. They both have the month number and then the month and the year written in just a little bit different way. You can see that the print is slightly darker in the Common Planner and the numbers fit inside one grid. On the plans, the numbers are a little bit larger and they are centered over 4 grids. They both include week numbers here on the Common Planner. They are very small in one grid off to the left. And then on Plans by Just Scribble, they are off to the right. And they both include extra spots at the bottom here with this grid, where in the cases where there's a 30 or 31 down at the bottom, there is a spot for it to have its own box so that you don't have to slash the week before into 2. So they each get their designated spots, and I love that. So in the Common Planner, all of the months are at the beginning, like I mentioned. But this is where these planners differ the most, and that is how they are laid out. So after the monthly in the Plans by Just Scribble, you flip and you have a blank page with just grid where you can use it for whatever you need for the month, maybe some monthly goal tracking. And then you flip and you get into the weekly spread. In the Common Planner, after all of the months you flip and then you get to the weeklies, and all of the weeklies live together in the middle section of the book. It's a little bit different in the plans, and we'll get to that soon. First, let's compare these weekly spreads. So they are both a horizontal option, as I mentioned. In the Common Planner here, the entire left of the page has these divided lines so that you have the whole width of the page for each day of the week. Bold dates and then small day abbreviations. The month number, the month name and year, and then also what week number it is. Then this right side of the page is all just grids. There are tiny little dots in case you want to divide your pages into halves or quarters. You can do that easily with the little dots. There are also dots here on this side if you want to draw a line dividing it in the middle. There's a little more structure here in the Plans by Just Scribble. The same horizontal weekly. There is a slightly darker line dividing it in half, and then there is grid. If you needed it to extend the whole way, you could use a pencil or a pen and make the darker lines extend across the full side of the page. This right side of the page is where most of the structure is. We have a spot for focus, priorities, and then there's some habit tracking spots down at the bottom. It's hard to tell on camera, but this section is not all the same. Half of it is this same grid that is on this side of the page, and then there's this spot where you could put a to-do list. It's not quite a full printed grid. There's a box for you to be able to check off, and then it's just lined instead of having the whole thing be grid. So if you need to have your weekly checklist there, you can do that. But the lines are so light that if you need to use it in a different way, it's very easy to do that as well. After after the weekly spread in the Plans by Just Scribble, you flip and you get right into your dailies. So everything is shuffled in together. In the month, you have your 1 weekly page, and then you have your 7 daily pages with an extra. You have a blank page here, so 8 pages before flipping to your next weekly, and then it repeats. So you have your dailies interspersed between your weekly spreads. So let's compare the daily spreads. Here in the Common Planner, it is those same blank grid pages with only the dots and page numbers. So they are not dated dailies. You can use them as bullet journal collections if you need to, or you can date them yourselves if you do want a page per day. There are enough pages for you to be able to use the full year in the full year option. In the compact, it is less pages if you don't need one for every day of year. Here in the Plans by Just Scribble, we have some more structure again. They are dated daily pages, so you have the day of the week and the date. There is a slight shaded rectangle here to tell you that it is July. In the horizontal version, there is a timeline on the daily pages. That is different from the vertical, because in the vertical you have the hourly timeline and the weekly, so it is not included in the daily section. But here in the horizontal, she wanted to make sure that you had an hour timeline to be able to track your day. There's also a shaded grid in the middle. Again, same like in the Common Planner, if you need to divide your page up into quarters, there's an odd number of grids, so the middle one is shaded. And again, they are numbered pages. So the pattern continues for all of July, and then August and September in the plans, and then halfway through the book you get to your Q4 tracking pages. So everything that you need for Q4 is in the second half of the second book, whereas for the first book, everything you need for Q1 is in the first half of the first book, etc. These planners have a lot of similarities. Both of the designs are very minimal. There's not extra things like moon phases and holidays printed, so you can choose what's most important to you to put in your planner. The biggest difference is how they are laid out, how the plans is all shuffled in, and the Common Planner is segmented so that you have all your yearly pages, followed by your monthly pages, followed by your weekly pages, and then the blank pages at the back that you can use for dailies. Like I said, next week we are going to compare the vertical weekly spreads. So be sure to check out that video as well. Let me know what you think of these two planners down in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.